this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and whew, wow. I guess pretty much since after my previous thoughts video that I did out of nowhere for once, yeah, I've been building up this latest one for quite some time now for sure, and boy, it's probably been a long time coming, and I'm really excited to actually talk about this one for sure. Which is actually quite fitting, seeing of how it's been merely a month since after I saw the last movie on the big screen for sure. To which, yeah, kind of makes sense, seeing of how we're now in February as we speak, and boy, there's going to be a lot going on, especially Valentine's Day coming up for sure, so... So yeah, well, I know I've actually got a lot going on as we speak, so yeah. And of course, it's also quite fitting as well because, well, I did manage to get some things worked out as we speak, and now looks like everything is back to normal on the channel for the time being, the heck is, because, well, we may never know, hands down, so... But enough about that, I think I might as well dive right into the latest movie that I got to see not too long ago for sure, and, well, I guess I knew I had to go for a league showing as we speak because, well, I was supposed to see it right around earlier this afternoon, but I guess some things have actually come up that might have set us back, but either way, it was no big deal nonetheless, and we braved the snowstorm once again to actually go see this one for sure. So I think it's all fine and good, hands down. So yeah. But needless to say, I think we might as well dive right into the latest movie that I finally got to see for sure. And surprisingly enough, this one we're going to be talking about here today is coming to us from DreamWorks Animation once again, so yeah, I guess it is quite fitting to finally talk about this one for sure because, well, yeah, I guess it's after what we've actually been through last year with DreamWorks for sure, which, yeah, given to both Kung Fu Panda 4 and The Wild Robot. Yeah, they definitely fared out much better last year compared to 2023 for sure. Looks like there's going to be a lot going on for DreamWorks for this year as of now. And by all means, a lot going on as we speak, so yeah. And yeah, I guess if you have seen their schedule and stuff on what they got going as of now, you can definitely see for yourself, hands down, so... But yeah, I know there's going to be a lot going on for DreamWorks this year, and of course, one of them we're going to be talking about here today is definitely one hands down for sure, so yeah, and I guess in regards to their latest movie that just came out, I do have an interesting question that I want to ask all of you. What would happen if you actually take a, pretty much a story that is basically a spin-off to a well-known children's book series, where, of course, pretty much someone who is half man, half dog? You getting the answer? No? Not getting the clear picture on what exactly I'm talking about? Well, I think the answer is quite obvious for sure in regards to today's movie we're going to be talking about here today, so yeah, if you didn't get the full picture as of now, I think we might as well dive right into the latest movie that is given to us by DreamWorks Animation, which is none other than Dogman, so yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about here today for sure. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it is also based on the iconic book series of the same name, to which, interestingly enough, it's actually done, pretty much done by the same author who crafted another well-known children's book series for a long time, that being Captain Underpants, so yeah, you can kind of see the clear picture, of course, on that front for sure, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright then, so yeah, before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I guess I might as well pretty much talk about, well, Dogman in a nutshell for sure. Now, to be honest, going into this movie, I actually don't know anything about Dogman, to be honest, seeing how I never actually read the book series of the same name for sure. But however, I think I do know that, for while I never even read the book series, nor even heard of it, hands down, as I believe it actually came out ever since I was a kid, for sure, around the time the book series came out. I am fully aware for the fact that it is, of course, done by the same author who crafted Captain Underpants, for sure, to which I have heard about, for sure, and it is quite fitting that I've actually mentioned that, seeing how DreamWorks did do a Captain Underpants movie years ago, to which, sadly, I never saw around the time it came out, but I do hear it's pretty good, for sure, so yeah. And yeah, that reminds me, I definitely want to check out that Sega movie, hands down, for sure, because, well, I'm pretty much long since overdue, of course, that front, for sure, but regardless, when it comes to a Dogman, for sure, for while I never even read the original book series, hands down, I do think the idea of it actually is somewhat interesting, for sure. Just someone who is basically pretty much half man, half dog, for sure, but all around pretty much a hero, for sure. So yeah. But yeah, I really don't know anything that much about it, for sure, but I'm pretty sure there might be a good number of people out there who are fans of the original book series, for sure, so yeah. But I've never even met those people for the time being, so we may never know, hands down, but regardless, of course, of that front, pretty much, despite the fact that I never actually read the book series, for sure, when I saw the trailers for, of course, this movie, I actually got myself quite curious and yet somehow interesting, for sure, because given to what I've actually seen, I think there might be some potential to, of course, that one, and maybe I think it might deliver on something good, hands down, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So luckily enough, I did manage to get myself in right at the last minute to catch pretty much pretty much a 7 o'clock showing of course, this movie last minute. And yeah, pretty much I got myself into do that, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always. You guys definitely rock for sure, and yeah, I guess as expected, I did manage to get myself in to officially go and see this movie for myself, for sure, because I'm actually quite interested to see how they're going to pull this one off, for sure, and, well, seeing of how I did manage to get myself back from, of course, seeing this movie not too long ago, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this one now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually quite fascinated on how well this movie actually did, and yeah, I guess pretty much if anything, I think I knew going into it, I think I knew right away it wanted to give me a pretty good time, for sure, and this movie actually did do exactly that, hands down. Is it by all means great for what it is? No, not particularly. But I really do think this is, in fact, a good movie regardless, and Dogman is indeed a pretty good movie nonetheless, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for, of course, this movie. Now, for starters is, of course, the story, and honestly, to me, I think from what I've actually seen, I really do think the story in this movie is actually very nicely done, I'm not gonna lie, and I really do think it is actually structured out miraculously, I'm not gonna lie, and yeah, I guess pretty much if anything, I knew right away that they want to pretty much keep with the the ongoing story they actually did in the original book series, hands down for sure. And this movie really did an incredible job, hands down for sure. It's not by all means a great story from what I've seen in a movie by far, but I really do think it is structured out miraculously for sure. And I really do admire the commitment they actually did to make this one work, hands down. And yeah, some parts of it I do kind of felt were a little bit rushed in some areas, but other times I actually do follow through on everything that goes on for sure, and I can definitely get behind of course, what goes on for sure, and I really do admire on what they actually did for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story, hands down. Now as for the writing, I have to say, that too, I will have to say, I can actually give credit for, hands down. I really do think, writing-wise, they really crafted it pretty darn good, for sure, and I really do think they give off something rather unique and interesting, for sure, and yeah, I do find myself quite fascinated with what I've actually seen. I really do think the writing in this movie is actually nicely done, for sure, So yeah, and not to mention the comedy, I have to say. That too I will have to also give credit for, hands down. This movie actually has some pretty nice, fast-paced humor, hands down, for sure. And given to what I've actually seen on screen, for sure, I really do think the comedy in this film is, of course, not only a fastly paced, hands down, but it does also help to deliver on the film's humor quite well, and I do find myself laughing at the good number of jokes, hands down, whether it be verbally, visually, or both, hands down, so yeah. And I guess I know there are some jokes that I really don't think hit the mark, hands down, but the rest I will have to say, I did find myself getting a pretty good laugh, for sure, so yeah, I guess for what it is, I really do think the comedy in this film is actually done pretty good, hands down, so yeah, I guess pretty much if anything, those are what I can say for those three aspects in a nutshell, for sure. I really do think, for while some parts of it I really do think could actually been done a whole lot better from what I could gather, I will have to say, they actually did an incredible job, hands down. I really do think they really did an impressive job to make this pretty much fascinating to watch, for sure. And it did the job miraculously well, for sure, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, done with that, so good thing I have another one on standby, so yeah. So yeah, now that I've actually got those out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about, for sure. First, and I guess for the next aspect, for sure, we're diving into the characters, for sure, and I won't lie, I think from what I've actually seen, I really do think the characters in this movie are actually nicely done, for sure. I really do think I can really get behind on the good number of characters from what I've actually seen, and I really do dig their personalities quite well, for sure, and not to mention, they actually do have some really good qualities, I'm not gonna lie, to actually make them likable and interesting, for sure, and I do follow through on what goes on, for sure, and I really do admire on what they actually did, hands down, so yeah. That's pretty much what I can say for, of course, the characters, for sure. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, I'm not gonna lie, I really do think they actually gave off some pretty good performances, hands down, for sure. Yeah, I can't necessarily say the casting in this movie is by all means the best, but they did actually get some pretty good actors on board to play the good number of characters, hands down, for sure. And I really do admire on what they actually did, hands down. With one good example I will have to say is, of course, pretty much the main villain, of course, of this movie, pretty much P, who is, of course, played by Pete Davidson, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really do think he actually does give off a pretty good performance to make the main villain in this movie actually work hands down. And I really do admire his commitment that I can actually get behind for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say for, of course, that front. And not to mention the title character in this movie, Dogman. Well, I will giving credit that they really pretty much, they really did an impressive job to make Dogman pretty much a likable character for sure, and I really do love for the fact that pretty much they only rely on, of course, dog noises hands down rather than giving a spoken dialogue hands down, and I really do admire that hands down, so I think pretty much if anything, most of the acting from Dogman usually comes from, of course, his pretty much the way pretty much his dog song kicks in to, of course, his multiple facial expressions, and even the nice dog noises, whether it be barking, howling, or plenty of others hands down. That alone is, of course, what got me hooked on with pretty much this kind of performance in this movie, and I think it actually worked quite well for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say hands down, and yeah, the rest of the actors actually did do a good job in giving off some good performances hands down to make their characters work hands down, and I really do admire that hands down, and I really do think this movie really did do an impressive job on, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say for the characters and the actors, and of course this movie hands down. I can't necessarily say it's great, but I really do think they're both pretty darn good hands down. So yeah. Alright then, so yeah, now that I've got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about hands down? So I guess for starters, seeing how this is pretty much an animated film from DreamWorks hands down, we should definitely talk about the animation, and I will have to say, animation-wise, I think this movie is actually impressive to actually look at hands down. I think given to what I've actually seen, they really did an impressive job with, of course, the animation hands down. Yeah, basically pretty much almost matching the original illustrations from, of course, the original book. Yeah, the original book series hands down, and I really do think they really did an impressive job on that front hands down. Everything from the way everything is designed, to the way the characters actually move and stuff, to even the nice backgrounds, hands down. It actually does feel like the original illustrations from, of course, the book series, hands down, really came to life, hands down, for sure. And I really do admire on what they actually did, of course, that front. They really did an impressive job with the animation, hands down, and I really admire the commitment they actually did to making work hands down. That alone is, of course, what got me intrigued about this movie hands down. So yeah, and not to mention the visuals and the effects, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that too is, of course, very nicely done for sure. I really do think it really does help to blend in perfectly with the animation, hands down, for sure. And even the nice sense of, yeah, pretty much the nice sense and use of color from what I can gather is really something that I can't help but admire hands down. They really did an impressive job on, of course, that front hands down, and I really do get a good sense of course, what they actually did to make it work hands down, and they really did an impressive job from what I can gather, and I really admire the commitment they did all the way for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, on that front for sure. And oh yeah, seeing how, given to what I mentioned earlier in this video, I should definitely talk about the pacing, hands down. Now, I won't lie, I guess if anything, pretty much given to what I've actually seen in this movie, they actually relied on, of course, pretty much some fast-paced, pretty much some fast pacing, hands down, and I think I do know in a good number of movies, fast pacing and stuff can actually work if it would actually work well to a movie's advantage when it needs it, hands down, and I guess for the sake of this movie, I think they actually did the job quite well for sure. The pacing in this movie is actually pretty fast, I'm not gonna lie. That does actually help with the film's comedy that I mentioned earlier, hands down, for sure. And I really do think they did a nice job of course, that front, hands down. But I will say, in a few other areas, that too is, of course, another pretty much that aspect alone can, of course, also be the film's issue, hands down, that I actually have. So yeah, and I do know some parts in it where it actually does need some fast pacing, does work well, but other times I really do felt that I think it's a little too fast, I'm not gonna lie, right to the point where it is, of course, way too rushed in some areas, hands down, for sure, and I do find that a bit distracting, hands down, because if anything, we don't want everything to happen, or let things go by, like, really fast, hands down. You definitely need some time to actually slow down, for sure, to really help catch your breath, hands down. And for while the fast pacing actually works well in some areas, other times I just kind of felt it would probably be the film's downfall, for sure, and yeah, I guess it's what I can say, of course, on that front, for sure. Now, I guess for the direction of this film from the film's director, I won't lie, I really do think pretty much the film's director, Peter Hastings, or I think that's what his name is. I do indeed apologize if I mispronounce his last name. I will have to say, I really do admire the commitment he actually did to actually make this movie look good, hands down, for sure. And yeah, I think he really did put in a whole lot of hard-working effort to actually make this one work, hands down. And I really do admire that, for sure, and I really do think it is actually nicely done, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. And of course, the cinematography in this film, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's alright from what I can gather. I think actually did provide some pretty decent camera shots, hands down. I think I do know some parts, some camera shots I actually thought worked well, while other times, pretty much some other shots I just kind of felt could use a little reworking, hands down, for sure. But it's not all bad from what I can gather. I think it's alright from what I've actually seen, hands down, So yeah, I think it's what I can say for the cinematography, hands down. Now, as for the editing, I have to say, well, I have to say, it's not bad from what I can gather, pretty much of anything, but it can also be, like the pacing, it can also be a massive issue, hands down. In fact, some parts of the film's editing, I have to say, is a little too fast and too rapid in some areas that most of the time I couldn't actually make out what's going on in some areas. But for other times, I really do think they did the job quite well, for sure, to really make out, of course, some parts that I do understand, of course, what goes on, for sure. And I really do admire on what they actually did, hands down. So yeah, it's not by all means great from what I can gather, but I really do admire the commitment they actually did to make this film out, for sure. So yeah, I guess with everything that I've actually said, hands down, I think it would pretty much sum up on what I actually thought of this movie, hands down. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie for sure. So yeah, I guess overall, I can't necessarily say this movie is by all means great, but I do find Dogman to actually be a pretty intriguing and yet quite fascinating movie nonetheless, hands down. Do I think it's by all means great, hands down? No, but I really do think there are some good stuff in it to actually pretty much that I can actually get behind for sure. And it's of course one that would actually make me say, yeah, I'm glad I saw this movie hands down, and that's pretty much what I actually got. I didn't necessarily get myself a great experience with, of course, this one, but I really do think Dogman is, of course, a pretty good movie nonetheless, for sure. So yeah, I guess either way, it's not necessarily the best one I've actually seen for sure, but I do like it for what it is, and that's definitely okay in my books, hands down, for sure. But yeah, I guess if anything, I do think some parts of it I do think could have been fixed up a whole lot more, but the rest actually did the job quite well, and it definitely kept the love and the spirit of the original book series hands down, and I really do think they did an impressive job, of course, that front, hands down. So yeah, I guess if anything, I know pretty much me as an adult, I would definitely find it to be a good movie, but I suppose that maybe kids might like it a whole lot more, hands down, and again, that's okay in my books, hands down. I'm pretty sure there are some kids out there that might get into this movie way more than I would, hands down. So yeah, I guess for what it is, I really do admire on what they actually did, and it's not by all means great, but I do like it for what it is, hands down. But is it actually still worth the recommendation? Oh, absolutely, for sure. I really do think pretty much this movie is actually well worth the recommendation on my book. So yeah, if you're looking for something that may not be great, but will still give you a good time nonetheless, then I say Dogman is, of course, the perfect movie for you to check out for sure. Whether it be by yourself or with your man's best friend, hands down. But yeah, either one of those two would actually work, hands down. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie. It's not by all means great, but I think it still gave me a good enough experience regardless, and that's okay in my books, hands down. So with that being said, yeah, I guess if anything, I am going to be fair on, of course, this one, and for my final score, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, like I said, I can't necessarily say this movie is by all means great, but I really do think it is, of course, a good movie nonetheless, hands down, and yeah, that's okay in my books, for sure. So yeah, I think that's everything that I can say about this movie, hands down. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie, to actually explain all of my thoughts videos as normal. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Dogman? If you've actually seen it for yourself, do you absolutely really enjoy it? Do you think it's actually a really nicely done movie all the way, or do you absolutely hate it and think it pretty much betrayed everything about the original book series that you grew up with, hands down? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just passable, to say the least? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what you thought of this movie for sure. I would definitely love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, I guess I've got a lot going on for, of course, February as we speak, so hopefully I think I'll actually get some stuff out for sure to really get where we need to be, hands down. But until that happens, and I was lucky enough to actually pick it up on the way out after seeing this movie. And yes, folks, I actually got myself another movie poster, hands down. So yeah, I guess it looks like I cannot escape these, hands down for sure. And yeah, I was lucky enough to actually get this poster of course, this movie I just talked about on my way out. And I'm not gonna lie, it is actually really good. So now it looks like I'm gonna have to find some place on my wall to, of course, hang this up for sure, alongside all the other movie posters that I actually got. But hey, I'm sure I'll figure it out, hands down. So yeah, but I guess until that happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Alright, let's see where we're gonna put you, hands down. I surely hope we'll find a good spot on my wall somewhere.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.